Gu-won asks the lady god what he can do to be able to gain back his powers and tattoo. The lady god notifies him that there's nothing he can do, and even though she is the god, she doesn't have the power to bring back his powers. The only way is if Doohee dies, then Gu-won's powers will be back. When the full moon appears, so will the tattoo cease, as well as Gu-won. Ga-young tells Sok-hoon everything about Gu-won, even his powers and tattoo, and the reason Gu-won needed to be by Doohee's side. At home, Sok-hoon searches for everything about the devil, trying to find out how he can get him far away from Doohee. The documents, signed by Doohee stating she is now legally rejecting the inheritance given to her by the late chairman, are now in the hands of Sok-min. Sok-min remembers the first time her mother brought Doohee home in 2006. Meanwhile, in his car, Do-kyung is seen holding a cloned cell phone of his father. When Gu-won arrives home, he finds Doohee baking a cake for him, a cute birthday cake. He hugs Doohee to charge up. Doohee wants Gu-won to taste the cake, but his reaction after tasting it makes Doohee nervous. But Gu-won assures her that the cake was delicious. Doohee tries to taste it too, against Gu-won's wish. The salted roll is for the demon's eyes only. They went to the balcony, and Gu-won asks Doohee what she would do if the world will end tomorrow. Even though she is skeptical about the question, Doohee wants to stay at home and lounge with Gu-won all day. She also wants to walk all day with Gu-won. Doohee wants to spend her last day with Gu-won. Gu-won wants to stay up all night with Doohee. They then watch a scary movie. Doohee falls asleep while watching. Gu-won then answered Doohee's earlier question about what scares him the most. He is scared of Doohee disappearing. Gu-won puts Doohee to bed. Doohee tells Gu-won not to go away in her sleep and to stay by her side. But Gu-won mumbles that he can't stay by her side because he'll go far away. Unconsciously, Doohee holds Gu-won's hand and tells him that she will go after him to find him. Gu-won went to meet the lady god and told her that he would not give up on both him and Doohee. He chose Doohee and himself. At the Sunwoo Foundation, he entrusts Bok-ju to take over his position if he does not return after the full moon. Doohee wakes up and doesn't see Gu-won beside her or anywhere inside the house. A sense of relief washed over her as she found him on the balcony. Gu-won asks Doohee to have a trip with him to Sakho, informing Doohee that a couple of minutes after midnight today is the full moon and the chance to bring back his powers. Doohee calls this trip their honeymoon. On the other hand, Sok-min sees Do-kyung in the house with his two cell phones. Do-kyung forgot to bring his cell phone, and Sok-min found out that Do-kyung cloned his cell phone. He puts a burning rod in his son's forearm as a punishment. While looking at the Foundation's history, Bok-ju can't help but get emotional as he looks at all of Gu-won's transformative pictures. Then Ga-young appears and asks him what is wrong. Bok-ju can't help but tell Ga-young what he knows. On the other hand, at the police station, Detective Park is still investigating what happened to the killer. The knife used in the stabbing of Gu-won is still missing. Gu-won appears and agrees to them. He notifies the police that the knife found in the killer's chest and the knife the killer used to stab him were the same. He requested Doohee's safety since he knew the killer's boss was still out there. At the office, while waiting for Gu-won, Doohee searches for places to go on their trip. She receives a call from Ga-young asking for a meetup. Ga-young informs her how it will turn out for both of them once the full moon appears, and requests that Doohee drink the poison pill instead to save Gu-won's life. Gu-won came, and Doohee confronted him to check if what Ga-young told her was true. Doohee walks out, and angrily, Gu-won once again tells Ga-young not to cross the line. At the Sunwoo Foundation, Doohee confronts Bok-ju about what Ga-young told her, and Bok-ju confesses the whole truth. She then went to the river. Gu-won once tried to recover his tattoo from her before. At home, Gu-won is waiting for Doohee. When she came, she told Gu-won that they needed to find whatever way there was for them to overcome this together. Once again, Sok-hoon talks to Ga-young about the tattoo at Doohee's risk. He wants to know if it will put Doohee in danger. Ga-young informs Sok-hoon that no one gets to have a happy ending with the demon, and that eventually both of them will go to hell. Ga-young then tells Sok-hoon that today is Sok-hoon's last chance. Doohee and Gu-won went to the seaside. They reminisce about the memories, starting with the first deal Gu-won offered her, the time Doohee rushed to save him from the wild dog, and how they ended up making their fake wedding. Gu-won's near-death experience because of the stabbing, and lastly, the confession of their undying love for one another. They stayed by the seaside, looking at each other lovingly, until it was near midnight. At the shareholders' meeting, Do Kyung is absent because of his injury, and the majority voted for Sok Min to be the president of the company. While driving to the river, they need to fuel up. Do Hee and Gu Won stop to gas up at a gasoline station. A postcard of sunset on a beach caught Do Hee's attention. She tells Gu Won that she will buy the postcard to commemorate today's event. While Gu Won thinks a cake is also important to have, Do Hee goes inside the convenience store to pay for what she got. The poison pill Ga Yong gave her is still in her pocket. She then holds a pen and writes on the back of the postcard a message to Gu Won. A call from Sok Hoon was received by Do Hee, informing her that he knows about Gu Won and ordering Do Hee to stay away from Gu Won in order to save herself, because Gu Won will do anything to kill Do Hee to take his powers back. But Do Hee tells Sok Hoon that she knows that Gu Won will not do any harm to her and hangs up the call. Then, a car driven by Do Kyung crashes into the convenience store, directly hitting Do Hee. Sok Hoon and Ga Yong arrive and see the accident. Both Gu Won and Sok Hoon try to help Do Hee, but the car blasts into fire and engulfs the store. But Gu Won doesn't care at all and walks to go to Do Hee, but Ga Yong tries to stop him, telling him that he's a mere human now and it's dangerous for him to go inside. And this is his chance to live, as Do Hee will die. Gu Won doesn't care and tells Ga Yong he can't live without Do Hee. He continues to walk inside the store and sees the postcard Do Hee bought that has a letter in the back for Gu Won. In the letter, Do Hee tells Gu Won that if they'll end up making a tragic choice, she will choose Gu Won to live because it is unbearable to lose someone you love than to die. Gu Won sees bruised, bloodied and unconscious Do Hee on the floor, but is hindered by the falling debris from going to her. Meanwhile, Sok Hoon immediately calls for emergency services for help. And then, miraculously, Gu Won walks through the fire carrying an unconscious Do Hee. As he brings Do Hee to safety, she wakes up and can't believe that they are both alive. The tattoo in his powers has come back to Gu Won when he holds Do Hee's arm inside the burning and collapsing store.